Hello everyone and welcome back. Here is the deck list if you are interested. Other than that, we are just going to hop right into the game. Oh, this is gross. This is gross. This is why we do it. We'll keep this. We'll lead off with a Cave of Coals. Leaves a lot up to question. And then we can play land, we can play Lightpaws, and then we can on a red. Well, I would argue a favorable matchup for us indeed. Mana Confluence won't matter either way. We'll still end up taking a damage here. We'll play Lightpaws. Play Mox. We need to just make Lightpaws as big as physically possible. Yeah, we'll take this action. We have for each enemy control. How big would that be? 5? I guess I can just also make it a Kaya's Ghost form, and then if it dies, like, I'm just fine. But I guess that allows it to be lightning striked. But so this Kaya's Ghost form covers pretty much every way. If it dies or it's exiled, so if Kamano flips and then they remove this, it's not a big deal. We have a creature that can battle with the board right now. That's a Robber. Robber can attack if you'd like it to. They do not. Let us play out. Do I even need to play Virtuoso? This has Vigilance. I just need to give this lifelink. I mean, keep. We have a Saram. I know. Maybe not the most beautiful version ever seen on the face of Earth. But if it's mono green, I feel fine. Never mind, it's elves. I don't feel fine anymore. Actually, we should be okay, right? We don't have another land, so we're gonna play the Lightpaws. We can give flying. We can give tap, things like that. Make our creatures huge. Hard to kind of combat and deal with. Then we're elf coming down. We do get to make this fight, our Lightpaws fight a creature, if we find a land. Can you stop playing elf? Hey. Glad your turn's finally done. Thanks. We just played so many. I just needed him to stop. We'll do this. We'll do this. Make our Lightpaws huge. Tap a creature. Tap this creature, I suppose. Yes. Ethereal armor is probably going to be massive here. Yep. Let's just grab it. 5/7 first striker. Do this. We need to fight this because of the amount of mana they're going to make. We'll take this action. All it glitters will make us huge. The creature enters got lifelink. I don't know if they can beat that. And I don't have vigilance, however. As long as for creature has lifelink. I think lifelink will be fine. Draw a card. 7/7 to. I don't know how I die from this time, so I'm going 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They can trade their entire board off, I guess, if they wanted to, and that's really bad for me considering they have a Realm Walker on top. So I guess we just have to wait. Next turn we can play a Saram, Rom, Resolve All. We need to give Lightpaws Vigilance here. Really late. I don't remember which one gives Vigilance. Now they're playing off the top. Drawing cards. It's really weird because Lightpaw is sitting here just saying, like, can't really be bothered. I can give it flying. Am I able to kill him? I can grab pretty much everything in my deck, I think. 1-0 flying. Yeah, we'll take the action, of course. I will grab Audacity, the most power. I have an Audacity in my hand. I'm just tossing, I suppose. Take an action, find something else, of course. +2, +1, 18. Hey, beach. I said beach, by the way. Oh, don't get me twisted. I don't need that. Beach, babe. Gotta play the Temple Garden. Play it tap, and then play Rage Verge. Stick it afterward untapped. Now I use Lieutenant. Another matchup I think we can pretty much fight. But we have to get them to kind of use a thing we don't want them to use. But we'll play out of Lightpaws now. They're on the play, so they have time to play a Brutal Cathar if they need to. This will allow us to play Lightpaws later and fight the Brutal Cathar. Oh, Ossification. Weird choice. My humans deck did not play the human that can also deal with creatures, but sure. Play this tapped. I'm going to play Saram. I want to do it backwards. I would like to play the Lightpaws next turn, have Saram be the target of anything, and then when I play Lightpaws, play something like Aurora Riot's Blessing. I will actually get to draw cards if they don't deal with Saram. Island. Okay. Will I be able to make my Lightpaws big enough to fight this Adeline and not die? I think so. Block here. First sticking, not quite what we're looking for. Player. When it goes first, our hand's kind of loaded, but kind of soft as well. We don't have a whole lot of auras. We have repeated threats, and we're on the getting Thoughtseize plan, so like keep a lot of threats, I suppose. Have to worry about fatal pushes and so on and so forth. Man out here doing drive-bys, by the way. Play the thicket. Look at this man. On his looter scooter. Just saying. Not catching me, big dog. I'm too spicy and dangerous. Play Confluence. Put one out there to get countered. Okay. I just assumed it was getting countered, so. Sentinel's Eyes find its way in the graveyard. We can mitigate the amount that they mill us with the Sentinel's Eyes or the buffs that they get along the way. A shock. The Lightpaws on the stack. Sure. Just to get Drown in the Lock big enough? No, Drown in the Lock would be big enough. What is this? Exile 2 other cards. You can put them pretty far away by just doing this instead. This and this. Working on making it a little bit harder for them, and we're gonna get to draw here. Sure. Fairy Mastermind. Virtuoso can go. I'll take action. As Ghost Form, want to keep it around in case we have to sack it. We'll play this, and then we will play Ethereal Armor here. I think we're gonna get to draw a card there, and that does not make me happy. We'll get rid of the Sentinel's Eyes. Oh, it's only once. Never mind. Card. Ah, that hand looks so good. We draw a threat with this hand. I think we drive, I guess. Nah. We always have the Giganta angle. We can buy him next turn, actually. Oh, I actually could have played Mox Amber, played Combat Research on the Skrell so they couldn't remove it. That's actually really funny. Okay. Maybe not as funny to you, but it's funny to me. Play Mox Amber first. We use the mana from the Amber. We play this. I just go ahead and like... I think I used my mana here. It's weird, but I guess I'm gonna let my land go. Attacks. We're gonna hold for protection. Sure. Man, I really wish they'd put the Delve cards in, by the way. The Neoform Attraction deck would be sweet to play. Protection from black. Sacrifice this. We do black in case they play land. Fatal push. Oh, they do nothing. Okay. Sick. Can we kill them? I think so. Maybe not. Not legendary. This is not legendary. You think maybe I'd play the bigger spell, but you know. That's not for me. Alright. We will and hit well. Land, nope. Hit once, draw a card. Second time, draw a card. Alright, time to do the thing that we do at the end of videos, and we go over the deck, of course. You know, it's a little late. I might be a little fussy. I've had some things come up, you know. I had my car break down the other night, so I've been a little frustrated. So if I came off as like a little annoying, maybe like a little frustrated, it's kind of why. Stress and stuff. So apologies if I upset anybody. But to talk about this deck, what I like a lot about it, I'm glad it's finally kind of on Pioneer or Explorer, I guess. The thing we are missing is there's a 1-mana creature. It is slipping my brain now. I could probably pull it up while I talk about the deck. But it's a 1-mana creature that has hexproof and is 1 green. That is very nice. That we would generally need for this deck to have it perform well. I just ate my pen. Don't worry. I find it here. Where are you? Please come to the forefront. But yeah, it's a 1-mana hexproofer. It's not that big of a deal. We're not worried about it too much today, I guess. It is Glade Cover Scout. Glade Cover Scout is in Pioneer. It has hexproof. It's a 1/1 for 1 green mana, and that allows us to have a really, really strong start and something that's super hard to remove. That we play Lightpaws later, and then we start attaching stuff to the hexproofer because it already has hexproof. Weird things in this deck that when I first put it together, and I looked at a couple of lists, I found a list that I really like. It got first and but there's a lot to talk about. It's gonna be kind of hard to get through, so bear with me just for a second here. Ethereal Armor, 1/1 for each enchantment you control, has first strike, massive. This is one of the cards we were missing. We had to play all the glitters, 2 mana. A lot harder for us to pull off than our 1 mana with 20 lands in the deck. And it just makes everything significantly easier. So you see that we're on 4 of these instead of a lot of all the glitters. All the glitters is a really good 2-drop with the way that Lightpaws works, which we'll get to that. Here are some of the 1-mana ones. We have this one that gives it a 1/3 and it taps a creature in opponent control, so it allows us to get through. Griff's Boon gives a creature flying, and we can bring it back from the graveyard, which is very important. The thing we didn't have before a lot of times is we weren't able to bring stuff back from the graveyard. Especially in standard right now, you're not able to bring anything back from the graveyard in terms of your auras, so this is a pretty big hit. Lauren's Escape is a 1-of. It's kind of an awkward 1-of, but it can give us protection more or less on the indestructible side whenever it comes down to our opponent casting a board wipe like a Supreme Verdict. This is Supreme Verdict Saver along with like a Kaya's Ghost form. Conviction, realistically, this is just a flash way to do something that maybe convinces our opponent to try to lightning strike a creature, and then we do a little combat trick. Other than that, this is just another 1 mana that we need, along with the combat research. Gives our legendary ward, hits them, draw a card. Kaya's Ghost form was originally a 1-of, and I switched it a little bit later. I think I bring it up, whether that game makes it or not, into the video. I said that I feel like we needed 2 of these because we're playing best of one. In best of two, or best of three, you might be able to get away with one because you start sideboarding in some stuff to like kind of play around board wipes and so on and so forth. However, being like kind of vulnerable in a best of one meta, I felt like going up to two on this was important. So I cut in all the glitters for Akai's ghost form because again, ethereal armor seemed strong enough on its own that we did not need more all the glitters. Favor, one drop, escape from the graveyard. We get milled, rogues, great example. We could play this from the graveyard. Creature dies, we can play it back later, especially whenever it comes down to an Illuminator Virtuoso. Zero armor, super strong. Best enchantment in the deck. 1/1 for each enchantment you control first strike. Sentinelize, better than the favor. It's 1 mana from the graveyard. Exile 2 cards from your graveyard. Gives it just a 1/1 for a white. This is a really strong enchantment that this deck got to start it off in the right direction. Audacity, another strong card. Gives it 2/0 and trample. Trample is very important. Sometimes you need that just to get through because your creature is massive. You just need to trample over. Also, it's good to put one early in case your creature dies so you can draw a card. Warbrier's Blessing is probably one of the strongest 2-drops, but again, we're pretty heavy on the 1-drop category because you have to be in a 20-land deck. Warbrier's Blessing, being able to fight a creature is so important in a lot of matchups. We were fighting Adelines and stuff like that with this. Also gives an O2 nice little big creature grab, and then we just snag the all that glitters or something else we might need along the way. Rune for the lifelink is mainly what this for, but it also draws a card. We mentioned this card like 30 times. I'm just going to pass it. Down to the creatures. Because we do not have the hexproof, that's why I was so focused on it. We are kind of in a spot where we need to play Skrelv. Skrelv's perfect a lot of times because it allows us to give our creatures protection. However, it works slightly different than protection, something very important and something that a lot of people messed up initially with Lightpaws. You get hexproof and it cannot be blocked by the creatures. If it said protection, okay? So I was kind of worried about it in the mono green matchup. Now that I sit here and think about it, is Skrelv, I won the game. Oh my god, I just now realized that I punted. Oh lord. So I'll bring it up anyway. So Skrelv does not give protection, and I kept using that word. So my brain thought it worked a different way. If you were to give Lightpaws protection with green, and so say you give it protection from green with green enchantment auras on it, the green enchantment auras, since you gave Lightpaws protection, actually fall off of the creature because it now has protection from that color. So when I was using the word protection with Skrelv, I actually tricked myself. It's why I'm kind of bringing it up as well, that this does not give protection. It only makes it where those creatures cannot block, and it has hexproof from that color. So you can still target with your enchantments. You can attack through the color. So that's why this is a little bit better than it might seem at first. Because obviously, if this was giving protection to this from green, it's still like a Nombo. They fall off. But Virtuoso is another nice card we add. It has double strike. It can end the game on its own, especially when you're putting like big things like all the glitters or ethereal armor. It gets 1/1s from discarding stuff like that, but ethereal armor plus 2 other enchantments in play, this thing is getting massive fast. Lightpaws is the way the deck works, so let's just talk about Shram real quick. We got this. I don't even know if we have the normal art, I'm going to be honest with you, but we got it in this like alternate printing. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. Very important with all these to allow us to keep drawing through our deck and getting to more threats if needed. Lightpaws. Finally, I feel like I've done the longest outro of my career. Lightpaws, Emperor's Voice. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield, this also counts things like ossification, by the way, or like on thin ice and modern, things like that. Like land auras will also do this as well if you're trying to play like a control lockout deck. But whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura with a different name than each aura you control. Put that card onto the battlefield attached to Lightpaws. So basically, if you get a Lightpaw stuck down and you put 2 to 3 auras on it from your hand in terms of casting, your opponent's pretty much going to die. All there is to it. You find whatever combination you pretty much need in terms of either trample, flying, lifelink, just making the creature huge. Just anything that you need to do, Lightpaws will be able to pull off in that spot. Other than that, pretty typical lands. Concealed Courtyard was a 4 of. I played a Blight Climb Pathway and a Cave of Kolos instead. And the final edition, we got Juicy J. So other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to go to bed. I've had a stressful day. Other than that, I hope you all, again, enjoy. And if you want more content like this in Explorer, please let me know. Other than that, I'll see you around. Get out of here.